Yo, what's going on, people? This is Joe Pro 973 from Cultural Currency Podcast. I got my host.
Swiss Legacy, y'all already know.
Absolutely. And today we got a very, very special guest in the building. The Brick City is full of stories, and I feel like you cannot tell the story of Newark, New Jersey without this brother right here. We got my brother Jeff Billingsley. How can I start this? Because you have so many titles, from adjunct professor, you know what I mean? We have producer, from hit shows being produced, hit podcasts being produced.
Yeah.
He's a staple in the community with these youth enrichment programs. He's helping people. He has seen and helped shape the Newark, New Jersey music scene. And he believes in second chances. And, you know, he's doing a lot out here in the community. And without further ado, I want y'all to give my brother Jeff a big warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Jeff, man, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, I'm feeling great, man. You get certain phone calls and it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And, you know, as we spoke, the reality of supporting the supporters, you know, you've been somebody that supported us when we had the studio, and consistency of what you believed in and what you was doing helped in our journey. So I appreciate you for that. I'm here on the strength of that more than anything else, that you
Support the
supporting
supporters.
us.
That's
Yes.
dope right there.
That's a dope tagline right there. And I will say that, you know, when I first came home from, you know, behind the wall, I was at a point in my life and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but I knew that I had to get something off my chest. And your facility, along with the help of Rock and Bones and everybody down at Cobblestone, was instrumental in helping me get something off my chest in a project that I call Fresh Out the Box.
I'm back home,
But
my
yeah,
nigga,
man,
you know what's
you
going
have
down.
a legendary
Fresh out the
studio,
box,
you have
like
some
a
legendary
brand new
acts
40
coming through there, and we're going to get into all of that. But I kind of want to start with, what is your first memories growing up in the city?
The reality of, you know, I'm from Newark. I'm from Chadwick Avenue, Clinton Avenue. I lived on 100 Chadwick. Shout out to Chadwick Avenue. 100.
The building.
But I grew up in a space, in a time where, you know, the Newark we know now wasn't the Newark back then. It's the 70s. I was born in the late 60s and 67. But the reality, and I'm happy and proud to say my age. I'm blessed to be alive and be here. But I grew up where our playgrounds, you know, we had playgrounds, but we had a lot of abandoned lots, abandoned buildings, and all of this stuff. I grew up with my moms and my grandmother in the house. Pops wasn't, you know, present. But the reality of coming up during the time that I did, it really shaped me. I'm an only child, so I was around a community where you couldn't result to certain things without facing them head on. So when you had to knuckle up, you had to knuckle up. When you played sports, you better get up and come on, we're gonna try it again, you gotta go. But I came up, man, people talk about how Newark used to be and how bad it used to be. Yeah, the poverty and all of that was there. But my mom, she did fairly well. She worked for the telephone company as an operator. Shout out to my moms.
Was that like AT&T or Bell Atlantic?
It was
back in
New
the
Jersey
day?
Bell in the
New Jersey
beginning.
Bell, yeah.
I watched all of that evolve, and she
One
was
right
there
there,
30
Avon.
years. Yeah, she was there. She was downtown on Washington Street. Then the last spot she was at was on Clinton Avenue in Irvington. Yeah, so you know, the realities of growing up in the environment we grew up in and I grew up in was, we made fun. You know, we took the worst of the worst, and that come from playing in fields with broken glass or whatever. But we didn't complain about that. We just made our own fun out of the circumstances. I'm talking about converting what it was an abandoned building. We turned it into a maze.
Right.
Nobody could catch us. None of that from clubhouses. So I just try to focus on a lot of the good things that went on during the time period where it was right after the riots. We were still feeling that whole impact of that. And the city just really starting to evolve and get back
from the
riots.
Hey, man,
But
that's the truth right there.
Yeah, so
that's the truth right there.
Tanks through there, and then, you know what I mean, everything being burned down.
Bruh, My mom's lived in 100 for 40-something years. My father, I wasn't even born yet. He had a stereo console system from the riots. Still was working in my mom's house when we moved her.
Wow.
So, you know, it's a lot of nostalgia and all of that, man. But some of the things that I really remember more than anything else was I found that I loved music early.
Okay.
My father was a music fanatic. Like, he had a whole wall full of, you know, this was later in life.
Tracks back then.
He had vinyl.
The vinyl,
Oh,
yeah.
so he had the
Vinyl.
records.
Yeah, so
Delphonics and all that playing in
Man,
the
listen.
Manhattans and all that.
All
That's
of that.
that era.
So-
About that, bro.
so I'm witnessing this and not knowing that because, like I said, I grew up in the house with my moms and my grandmother, but I was like 4 years old, and they would tell me whenever I wanted to hear this certain album, I would get it out the little record holder, pull it up, and start biting the album cover. That meant
that meant
I wanted to play the song.
this.
And the song was Billy Paul, Me and Mrs. Jones. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I was
That
just
was
big
the
on that. Was my. I'm a kid.
I was about to say, that was
I'm
a big
kid.
song back then.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jones.
Yeah. But you know, I grew up understanding what it meant to be a boy's boy and be outside. My mother ain't never want me to be a mama's boy or
under her.
yeah, none of that.
Yeah.
None of that. So I used to hold that close to my chest with
So her even understanding without a father in there to try to make my son be a man, don't be under me. You gotta, kind of figure it out sometimes.
Correct.
All right, right.
Correct. And you know, growing up in that building and my day ones is like we all family. Like you know how you got blood related family and then you got family that becomes your family.
That's the same
and
family.
It's the same
right?
family,
It's the
bro.
same family.
Sometimes even closer.
Yeah.
Facts. So, you know, my memories of how growing up wasn't, you know, it wasn't negative or it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I made choices at a certain point based on paying attention to the environment.
To the
We was talking about paying attention,
circumstances,
you watching people.
Yeah.
You know, you make choices and you learn them hard knock life lessons. But man, I had a great childhood. I ain't gonna even hold you. Yeah. I'm talking about even just the stuff we used to do, from being at the fire hydrant, running with
Even
buckets
the
of
dangerous
water.
fun.
Yeah, we throwing water on people on the bus on Clinton Avenue.
Yeah.
We doing all types of craziness. But we
Yeah.
had fun, man. And you know, coming up in the city kind of allows you to make informed decisions as an adult based on some of those experiences. You know,
Because you learn kind of what to do, what not to do, what kind of
Exactly.
reaction you may get out of people when you do certain things.
exactly. You got some people my age that hasn't had those experiences
So-
based on the environment and some of the, you know, how they was brought up. They've been sheltered.
Yeah.
So they don't know that it's a piranha tank out here.
And that's a very good point. I know you wanted to make a point, so I'll be real quick. It's kind of like when you put them out there, when you have children of your own, you kind of want to shelter them, but you don't want to shelter them so much that they're not experiencing life and they're not getting them life schools. And so, you want the next generation to be better, but they still have to have their own experiences.
Facts.
Yeah, that was like with us coming up, like you said, not parents working and not both of them kind of being present. Was you able to experience the city like that on your own with your crew? You feel me? Because you know it was a saying. Some people back then, you walk from Central Ave to Chancellor.
bro.
If you couldn't do that, you really wouldn't.
Hey, bro.
Who you was.
I
in the
have
city.
no understanding of somebody saying to me they can't go in any hood in Newark.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, I don't.
Right.
I'm talking about then and now.
Right.
Even if you knew it might meant you might have to scrap or whatever, you still felt
Right.
comfortable. Bro, we used to walk from
It's just
Chadwick
what we
Avenue
did.
to South Mountain Reservation.
Yeah.
We used to walk
Yeah.
from Chadwick Avenue to the Y
Right.
on Saturdays to go swimming, to JFK, to Green Acres up on Lyons Avenue.
Wow.
We did all of that.
Yeah.
Like that was a norm.
Wherever the best looking girls at.
Bruh.
That's where we going.
I'm in East Orange. I'm in East Orange
And you
on
know,
catching the
had
bus.
back then.
What? EO and
I'm
Hillside.
catching
You
the-
was,
yeah.
a North guy was always looking for a Hillside.
No
EO
disrespect
girl.
to all the beautiful sisters in the hood and all of that, but we traveled
Yeah.
early.
That's a
But
fact.
yeah, man, I was allowed to explore. You know, I was allowed to be
You almost
outside.
kind of had to.
Yeah. You know, and one of the things that helped me understand the importance of, you know, not being afraid of going outside of your block
Right.
was my grandmother, my mother used to take us down south in the summer. And I'm down south and my cousins, you know, shout out to my cousins in the south in Alabama, from Birmingham, Alabama. But I'm in a different environment where the culture is almost everybody got a gun in the house.
Yeah.
Everybody got a BB gun, a shotgun. Up top, there's none of that.
Yeah.
But that's a norm. So I'm learning and experiencing things.
In different places.
So you had
Right,
to
so
adapt and adjust.
Yeah,
Get out there.
I think that's why I love to travel so much now, you know, because you get to experience different people.
Right.
You get to think outside of what you accustomed to. And sometimes it's all right to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, because when you uncomfortable, eventually you get used to it, and then you got to find something else to be uncomfortable with. That's just the nature of life.
That's how we learn. That's how, you know, that's how I know that's how I
you
learn.
learn and how you grow.
Yeah.
So growing up, like we said, okay, your mother working in an environment. What started you to form your plan of, like you said, watching people, seeing people to start earning your own money? Like, what was the age where those ideas started coming in to be like, all right, mom's working hard, pops ain't around. I gotta at least start helping myself so I can help moms out.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you, the reality of growing up where I grew up, I paid attention to detail always. I always paid attention. When I was younger, I would always be accepted by people older than me because I just the way I might have carried myself. But I watched cats, and I grew up during a time, but yeah, it was gangs, but different. It was different. The avenues, Wild Bunch,
Block
Hellraiser,
guns, yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
But I paid attention to my man. That was it from my hood. He stood out. He was different. Everybody be in the hallway drinking, smoking, doing whatever in the building. I watched him on Clinton Avenue. I watched him like I studied him. And shout out to my man. I got to shout him out, my man Naeem Hill.
Nah.
I watched Naeem be different in a way that was CEO different. And I say that in regards to just how he carried himself. He was respectful. He spoke to everybody. He ain't talked down to people, none of that. But he was running shop. He was running.
Yeah.
He was, you know, and this is public knowledge. I say that to say, you know, seeing that, and always, I would say 5th grade, I began to think I was slick.
Right. yeah.
5th grade, because I went from Clinton Avenue School to Avon Avenue School. When I got to Avon, you know, I had already tried to be slick. I was always smart in school.
Right.
Okay.
I was always academically above average or a good test taker and all of that stuff. So that wasn't never a problem for me. I just was into certain things that was
Not
the
school
right thing.
oriented.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say around 5th grade, I honestly began to pay attention to how I could get over, how I could work the system, quote unquote, or what ways I could do to get my time back. I do my work and I'm good with that, great. But I'm starting to think about how I could, you know, be slick.
Right. Get out of this.
Right.
Doing that. Like, yeah.
Right. Do less, get more.
If I could finish this faster, I might do this.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Right.
Because to those are testaments, some people who feel like that in school, I believe they always step out a little further on the edge because, you know, you feel lackluster with your brain. You can do this. Everything they teach you in this systematic scheduling, that's done, but you got other things that you need to do. Like,
And to that point, it's like you finish your work and you know what I mean, you probably done blitz that, so you're not even really even being challenged as
they
much
start
as
calling you the class clown. You start talking to girls and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
man, this
man.
work is done. It's easy.
You know,
Like,
the other thing too is like, you know, my mom's had started getting into church when I was young. So at a certain point, church became a part of, you know, my life.
Right.
As far as a kid, I had to leave from outside to go to church during the week.
Yeah.
bro.
You gotta leave from playing. You trying to
Right.
play. Word, you know, like,
Playing catch
Yeah.
I gotta
So,
go to church
but
on a Wednesday.
in the same breath, this is what I talk about, how you make the most out of situations. Some of the people that I even met at church at that time is some of the most well-known people that was outside during my era. We had church together. It used to be an A&P on Spruce Street. And my man used to bag bags in there. But nobody don't know him from that.
Right.
They know him from who he became. God bless the dead. God bless him. My man Rashid from Prince Street.
I was about to say, you
And-
talking about the A&P down there? What's that?
On Spruce.
On Spruce and
Barclay.
Barkley. Right, yeah.
But
yeah.
I say those things because, you know, these are things that help me stay grounded and understanding that I got kids and the things I couldn't allow my kids to do or whatever, I still gave them what I had in me to make informed decisions to the best of my ability. You ain't got to run the streets. I did all of that already.
And what's that balance though?
Yeah, man, it's hard because your kids still have to go out here and figure stuff out for themselves, but it took a lot. Me and their moms, we moved to a community we felt they had a shot. They could
Right.
feel safe going to school, but they had the best of all of it. They was at Quitman Street School, Cleveland. They was at parochial school, St. Rose, Catholic school, and suburban schools up in
Right.
Union and all of that.
So going to those foundational schools in the neighborhood, you kind of still get that sense of self-identity to where as though you know who you are, so that when you do travel out and maybe go to maybe a suburban school, it's kind of like you still know who you are as far as like self-identity from a, you know what I mean, a
No
black
doubt.
perspective.
But it wasn't a plan.
Right.
We ain't have a script. We grew up where we grew up.
You just wanted better.
We wanted better for them. Like
them.
all of us want more than we had as a child
Right.
for our kids. And
Give them
sometimes
more
it's-
opportunities.
Right.
Right.
And sometimes you could overdo that, and sometimes you might not do enough. But we wanted them to be exposed to different things as early as possible so they could make informed decisions, because you want your kids to be better than you.
Absolutely.
That's a fact. You definitely want your kids to be better than you. But when you learn how to be slick, when you teaching your kids, do you understand that they trying to be slick as
Man,
well?
listen, bro, listen. Yo, I love my kids, my sons especially. Yo, bro, you can't even. We apples and oranges to your age being slick, my age being slick. At your age, bro, you know.
So what do you think?
What
it
I'm
is?
saying,
You think that they think that they're slicker, or
bro, you catch it. You can see it
or
before they
because
do it.
You saw it, you know, like oh
No,
nah.
but you see it before
Look
they
at him.
even they loud bust the move, and it's like, man, you
It's like
definitely
you seeing
don't.
a light bulb turn on in
Right.
their head before they
Yeah,
even
like
know.
don't even do that. Don't set
Yeah.
yourself up, bro. Don't do it. Like, come on.
Don't take the shortcut. I know you see the shortcut,
Yeah, don't
but
do
that
it.
is
Don't
something
do
down
it.
there that ain't.
And trust me, I know they got away with certain things. They got away with.
Right.
School was
Yeah.
different. You could curse, you could do whatever in school
Yeah.
that you wouldn't do at home.
Right.
But even in just being outside at an early age, you could see the game or the posture, the body language of
Right.
goofiness. You already know, like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You
Please.
can see the posture with goofiness.
Nah,
Yeah,
you
don't
could definitely
do that.
You could definitely see it coming.
Yeah,
Once you've been through it.
And
it
don't get me
starts-
wrong, I've learned lessons from my kids because their definition of slick or getting over, you know, that was their definition, and then they come into the age of technology with the internet and all. It's a difference.
Totally
it's a
different.
whole different.
It's a whole
thing.
different ball
Yeah.
game.
So my youngest daughter really was of that age of the social media
being the boom of everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's
That's
just
a
levels
whole
of all of
different
that.
animal that's introduced that we didn't even really have to deal
Nah,
with.
we was calling on pay phones and before cell phones and
The funny
Exactly.
thing
rotary
about that
phones,
though,
10-cent phones and
All that.
everything.
it's
like,
when you have we read, so that the foundation that we have that they don't have, I think that's where we still get them. Like, you can't be slick on the internet because I can still read to do what needs to be done. Like,
Yeah.
so they think AI can't
Yeah.
trick me, bro.
Right.
like,
Right.
I can
Right.
tell that is the
man,
different.
Ain't that something? I remember when I was in school, it was like, yo, don't be a plagiarist. But now they actually have AI that can complete like a whole several
It's
paragraphs
apps
for
for it.
Man, sometimes you be like, don't even come near me. Like, don't come nowhere near me asking me a question if you didn't already try
Do the
3
proper
things.
research.
Yeah, like, don't, you got, it's in your
It's
hand.
it's right
you
there.
got Google,
Exhaustive resources.
YouTube. Yeah, do that first.
Yeah.
Before you come and just ask me for the answer or ask for the help. What did you already do? Did you try something already? Because I don't have all the answers. I ain't trying to be the end all and be all or nothing.
Right.
Besides, I want you to be able to do your own research.
That's what I was about to add to it. Like that, and they may look at it from, oh, he's being, but no, like, I'm teaching you not to be so dependent upon me. You got to get out here and kind of like do your own legwork and research and everything like that.
So with that being said, though, would you understand that because coming from a place where you didn't have something to fall on, that your kids may see what you started as a legacy for them to push further without you even noticing?
I'll say this. Growing up, I watched certain families, and I was embraced by certain people, friends that had their fathers present in their life. And, I was around some of that, right? And then we had somebody that had a cleaning company, and this is while I'm in high school. And, he would take all of us to make money cleaning office buildings and stuff like that.
Right.
So I had examples of what a father looks like to a certain degree, what that could be or what that looks like. I had uncles that, God bless my uncle, Jerry, he passed away. Vietnam vet, he was a man's man, but he put me under his wing.
Yes.
Right.
He's an example of working a job, all of the things, a lot of things. He taught me family value of going out and traveling and seeing things. But to your point, in regards to being clear about certain things of that nature, you want to be able to know that you have led by example and you lead by example with kids. You can't get caught up into making excuses. Well, I don't know how to be a father. My father wasn't there, but I made a promise to myself.
Right.
I'm going to be. My kids will not have me as an excuse for why they can't do something because I wasn't there.
Right.
And I had to learn all of that. I had to learn and go through certain things, but being present and being an example and spending the time, it's a difference from being a daddy and a father. When I was hustling, and I'm thinking having them dipped and dripped out and all of that early with jewelry and all of this stuff, man, that's
Thought you
not
was doing
about,
something,
that's
right?
nothing.
Nothing.
They want you to show up to them games.
Bro.
They want you to be there
Bro,
with that
no,
homework.
they want you to show, it's time to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
When it's time, when
They want
sick,
you to show up. They want you to just be there when they need you.
period.
That's it.
And what really counts is being present in those times. In those times is where the bonds get built and the communication is open when they most vulnerable and you worried and concerned about them when they sick and all of that. That's being a father.
When you don't have the answer that they ask you.
Yeah.
And you have to go research it with them to
Listen,
find the answer.
not only that, and you got to co-parent and rely on, if I know the mom is stronger in
Right.
math,
Certain
subjects,
right. Let you take your pride. Take your pride out, right?
It's an effort, man. And I know we on the topic of kids, but it's so important in this day and age for us as men to have this dialogue about what our experience may have been, but now we got kids.
Right.
We got my kids grown, but I got grandkids.
Right.
So all of this is important to. What the title of the show is, this is cultural currency at its finest. When you create a platform or environment for people to have these discussions, it's not normal.
Right.
People that look like us not having these discussions on this type of level. And I hope I answered your question without going off on a tangent, but it just sparked something in me, the fact that we leaning on a certain subject of this matter that I know is important to your viewers and to our culture, period, to see this.
Right. Well,
1000%.
it was a segue because you do the mentorships and everything with the kids and the youth. So I just wanted the insight on, how does it transfer from your kids being grown to keep pushing the information through the rest of the youth who may not have a father or who has a father who may works all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you might be like the uncle figure or the father figure now to them.
Hey, it's crazy. And what I was alluding to about watching my man father had a business and watching people, families that had stores and had, bro, I was blessed. Yeah.
Like the seed was planted.
Yeah. But I watched that and I wanted that. I wish that I had a parent or somebody that had a business and I could work in a business. And that was cool. And I was able to do that. I opened a music store in Union, New Jersey, Heat Music, on Stuyvesant Avenue in Union Center.
Okay.
My kids in high school, they get to work in the store. I got all the mixtapes, everything that's dope I got. White T-shirts was paying the rent.
Yeah.
It's lit, and they there. They after school
working,
job.
yeah.
They working. Yo, that's probably one of the most gratifying things that I've experienced
Something that you build.
Yeah, and they are part of that experience, and in a way where they're learning what it is to be in the workplace, but they learning and investing in themselves, honestly, because it's about them.
Right.
And it's bigger than me. It's about them having these experiences and seeing that anything you want to do is attainable. I think, it's a challenge when you work in the field. I worked in youth development since '94. Right. And never planned on doing that or knew that I would wind up there. And I'm working with young people that's coming straight out of Jamesburg. But I got kids that I'm raising at the same time.
Right.
The balance between that
Right.
of the time I spend at work
time over here.
and with these young people and the time I spend with it's a tough balance
I know
that you
there was conflicts within yourself numerous times over that.
Yeah, but what I could say was that I made a concerted effort to not get lost in the job or the work. It's hard though when young people dying in the program that you running,
Right.
and you didn't form or their parents dying,
right.
and I come home and my kids acting a little goofy or silly, and I'm looking like, boy, you don't understand how blessed you are.
Right.
Do you understand you? Yo, we just, one of my people, you might have even met him, I might have introduced him or whatever, his mother died, or this happened. And having to, balance all of that out. So I tried my best to, like you said, be present. Right. Like the football games, I'm holding a chain. I don't care what I'm.
So that it makes you go harder with your personal situation because of the situation that you see. With turning
and
out
it's
with
an
other
exchange that happens. It's not just I'm raising kids. I was never a father before, so this is my first experience being a parent.
It's no handbook.
Right, none. So you learning these things, and it's exchange that happen, even that you can learn from anybody. But your kids teach you humility and a bunch of other things while you trying to raise them, and you might be the heavy or not the heavy, and you switch roles to be able to fill these gaps that they can't go outside and be just loose.
Right.
Exactly.
Like you was loose.
Right.
But you try to give them the best of both worlds. We used to have like little family meetings. When they was all around 10, I gave them all the same conversation.
Yeah.
Me and your mother not going to be here all the time. You got to start thinking right now. Yeah, like you got to be, you got to be comfortable in your skin to know you got to take care of yourself, not no man or woman. You got to do the work on you.
When nobody have the answer, you got to go find it yourself.
Right. So we tried our best to instill that in them, and I'm blessed. They all still breathing, alive. Ain't go through a lot of the things that we experienced and went through, and life take you through different valleys and peaks and all that. Man, I don't have no complaints.
Right.
I have no complaints, man. I ain't perfect or none of that, but we was talking about success and what is success to people. It's different. People define it differently. Waking up in the morning and doing what you love to do, and being able to be in a position to employ people at different points, or to give somebody some solid information, or to help somebody start their business and all of that. I mean, I never knew that I would wind up doing a lot of things that I do. And when I started working, for Rutgers University in '94 as a counselor for a program called Project Core. It was like a reentry program.
Okay.
It was
Is that how you initially got with the kids? Like with the
Yeah, for real, for real. Besides growing up in the hood, and we had an aunt. We used to do bus rides and all of that.
Okay.
But that was different. We was taking people out the hood for the first time. Besides going to Jamesburg,
Right.
going to Wildwood was their first time going to the
Experience,
beach.
right.
The furthest they been is on
Yeah.
a bus going to the Berg or in the car going to the Berg. So I was paying attention to those conversations then. Cats I came up with that was a little older than me, like, man, this is my first time ever going to the beach
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But
it's a beautiful feeling and a sad thing kind of at the same time, you know?
yeah, it's one of the realities of,
The inner city.
the inner city, and some people had the ability to travel and go
Right.
places.
Yeah, to take those
Yeah, or they sacrificed and did it. But it's a powerful thing, man. Like now to know that it was young people that I mentored or worked with in the early '90s,
Right.
and I wasn't far removed from just coming home from doing a bid.
Right.
And they see me coming to work in the suit, and they from the hood, and they like,
And they know. And
They
know.
bugging.
Yeah.
Oh, that's big,
Yeah.
bro.
they like, yo. To see, I can remember the looks on their face when they saw me, or if I saw their name, I'm like, yo, he bug out when he see me up in here. Yo, and to see how they responded to, yo, that's crazy. You up in here doing X, Y, and Z. You just was doing what you was doing.
Yeah.
I know you from that.
Yeah.
But we here now. And one of the things that I learned is having credible messengers or people that young people could relate to that may have gone through things that correlate with their experiencing at that
Right.
point is vital, man. I'm older now, so I always surround myself with young people, young beasts, young talented people that had that same type of energy and had that same type of understanding.
drive.
Yeah, around
That could possibly bring new information around because they out searching and seeking as well.
right, and they not afraid,
Yeah.
and they not
Right.
afraid of learning about how I'm gonna help who next.
Right.
How I'm gonna bring people along while I'm working and on my journey. That got to be a part of your journey.
But do you feel like that mind state is kind of like already in them, or like once they see you and kind of like some of the loops that you're in, like is it kind of like okay, like they like a sponge and they're kind of like soaking that up, and then in turn now they want to kind of give back.
A little bit of both. I don't take credit for it. What I do is give you access to the information, and
Right.
I give you access to, being able to see if you're serious about business or whatever, that it's all attainable. And I could show you, I could put you in the space. We had a record, an independent record company. It started as Cobblestone Records, me and my partner Black. The reality though was I know we was different because we was handing artists books. All you
Yeah.
need to know about the music business. We want you to know what we know.
Right.
It ain't about us trying to pimp you for nothing. No, we want you to have the information so you could be informed like
Make
we
the
informed.
best
Because we learning as we going.
Right.
We just doing the research and we just using our God-given skills to get in rooms and talk to people. But we know as the artist, I can't advocate for you more than you can advocate for yourself. You the best marketer for yourself.
Exactly.
So, the reality of being able to have a balance where you give people the latitude to show you what they got in them and get them the room to see if they really serious about.
To be able to nurture that.
Yeah. Some people
Right.
got it in them, but some of that energy was channeled the wrong way. It was cats, 94, the gang thing was really just coming out of the jails into the streets.
Into the
and all.
streets,
Yeah.
pouring on.
So I'm watching what's happening from being at the program, and young people that had been, some of them had been classified and on medication and all of this stuff, right? While they was inside the Berg or whatever. But I'm noticing everybody that's starting to represent or say they represented something had that classification attached to them when it first was starting.
Right,
And I
right.
said, they straight crashing out, ready to do whatever. Cause that type of attention that they were getting, it was them learning something that was new to them in that generation. But they were the most consistent ones that I was seeing was coming from that space. But that was their form of leadership or starting to take a leadership role in that space just because they had been labeled or whatever. That was
Right.
that
Nobody ain't fucking with us. We about to come in and fuck with everybody
Right.
to make them fuck with
They
us.
consider
Right.
the loudest
Yeah.
ones, they
Right,
off-
right.
they off things, so
But the other side of it was, and it kind of alludes to what you were saying, if they had that in them already, it was some young cats that remind me of myself and was even sharper than me at the age they was. I'm talking about one brother came in the program, had his GD already, and smart as I don't know what, he got accepted to aviation school to be a pilot.
Yeah.
and that's
This is
no
like
joke.
94, 95.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Right.
That same knowledge he had, he also was getting money in the streets.
Yeah.
I'm talking about he was touching paper and at a very young age. But he also came up in that whole dynamic of the gang thing,
Right.
with, starting in the East Coast and in Newark, and he made a decision to go that other way as a leader. And, he wound up doing a stretch in the feds and all that. He got $1 million trucking company right now. And he mean that. We've done business together.
Right.
That's dope.
So those are the things that keep me grounded and keep me humble.
So would you say a test of that is sometimes the things we go through, which is the circumstances that makes the choices? Because he could have been a leader. He could have been great at the aviation and going to the pilot school, but due to the circumstances, I can get control and change my circumstances right now.
It's choices.
It's choices.
It's
Right.
choices,
And
man.
exposure.
He had a parent. I'm not sure if his pops was in the crib, but his mom, she worked real good jobs and all of that. But he had a choice. He wanted to get he was like, I want to get my own money.
Right.
Moms took care of me, got me stuff, but I want to do my own thing. I want to get her some money. I want to get her a coat, get her some, I want to be able to do all of those things. So we start making choices. And everybody that, hustled and did all of that, didn't have to.
Right.
They didn't, it wasn't always out of poverty. That's what a lot of people don't
Exactly.
understand.
And that's the misconception.
Yeah,
too.
it's a choice because it's something that's available and in our face all day, every day. And everybody didn't go that route. And salute to everybody that didn't make that choice.
Right.
Went to college. And I don't, I respect the game, period. I want people to win. Yeah. Period.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people won that way. They wanted me and my partner from, like, my brother to go in the service together. I'm like, man, I'm not going in no military. You bugging.
Yep.
First of all, how much y'all pay? I'm making more than that right now. I'm a teenager talking. I'm straight senior out of high school. I'm talking slick. Like, no. Nobody ain't yelling in my face. I'm not doing none of that.
I'm getting money without having to do nothing.
And
Y'all
I'm working
bugging.
a job. I'm working a job. I'm working a job and running around outside. And I'm like, it ain't adding up. It ain't adding up. And God bless my brother Mike. He experienced the military and all of that. And, it shaped him into having a certain type of discipline and all of these things. But it also is something that I witnessed how going away and being out in Iraq and all of that stuff, man. I'm outside running around. I'm earning my little stripes and running the streets while he in the service. And in the same breath, watching him and listening to him tell me about what he witnessed.
Right.
And all of that was like made me have to respect him in a whole different way. Because
You volunteered to go do
yeah,
that.
these is we run
Not
around
only
this.
did you volunteer, not to cut your wisdom, but not only did he volunteer, but in the midst of actual war.
Right.
Like we always say, yo, I'm in the hood at war, but
Bruh.
when you at war, this is babies being,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever
It's
happened
a mission to
them.
complete and you have to go execute.
So you're seeing all of that stuff
In a time though, it
lock and step
ain't on. It's not on site when you see him when you over there. It's no, you're going to go do this mission.
Yeah.
That's like. You
So
know, in the hood, it's on site. It's on site in the hood. When we see each other, it's on site. We can stay away from each other and not have a war.
Yeah.
But when you deploy from off this helicopter, you're going to go do this.
It's a
and you got to make it back on your own.
It's a different set of survival skills you develop in certain environments. And I could never speak to comparing the street stuff to the, Like my uncle that I spoke about, my Uncle Jerry was in Vietnam. Seeing people blown away. I seen people die in front of me, but not like that. People, body parts flying up. I'm talking about
stepping on a landmine. He's not even here.
I got an uncle who was in Vietnam. He just was telling him, showing his medals of jumping out the helicopter 25 times.
He's a teenager.
He got drafted. He thought he was going to the NBA. Got drafted back then. See, that's another element of the military. Vietnam, they was getting drafted. It was no choice. Now they got a choice. After Vietnam, they started having a choice because they got that win. But back then, my uncle said he thought he was going to the NBA. And nope, you the oldest boy, you going to Vietnam.
But even just from that perspective, to get drafted back then against your will, and then to come back and still not receive the respect in your homeland.
Right.
It's like this is like a whole psychology to that. Man. We could go down.
Yeah, that's some people we might want to get on the couch because that's a whole nother element of how to end the city.
Right.
What's going
PTSD is real.
Coming back on drugs, bringing it back in the community.
Yeah.
That's all that.
It's real. It's like we are almost born into post-traumatic stress disorder based on our nationality, our culture, and stuff we've seen, stuff our ancestors experienced. It's trauma that has gone through our lineage. It's built in. We might not even know or see it for what it is.
That's passed on.
It's passed on from our trauma.
Mother's trauma, her mother's trauma.
They teach us the trauma.
Exactly.
And people, excuse me for cutting you off, but people don't understand why. I don't even know why it's called mental health. Health is health, the whole body.
Right.
It shouldn't be labeled. You got to take care of the brain, like your heart.
It's health. Like you said, it's health.
It's health, man. It's not, something wrong with you because you talking to
different sectors.
Come on. It's health.
You can't take care of the mental without the physical and vice versa.
Facts. Exactly. Facts. So, again, man, this is I didn't know what to expect besides what I watched from seeing your platform, but this is important, man. This dialogue is important because oftentimes people don't even know the depth of our own understanding of what's going on and how to navigate the world as it is.
Right.
And to that point, we don't know what we're going through. I definitely don't know what you're going through. And so I try to carry life as, just be nice to people because you don't know what the hell they going through. Yeah. Like, you being nice to a person could be the difference between setting them off and them going to go do a whole other side mission that's just like negative and ain't, beneficial to nobody, but like just waking up and being nasty and mean. A joke is like,
and that's just us becoming men though. Like, all of us went through a bit. Like we was just talking yesterday. Yeah. Like you go to prison, and certain characteristics that you have is to the T. Because you either have to, you gotta lead with respect and you gotta check disrespect automatically. It's either so you lead with so much respect while you in there because you ready to check any disrespect that's coming. But when we get out here in the world, it don't correlate to go over. You might bump into somebody, you don't show them that respect because you don't know them. It ain't that you're not in the same element. You might feel like you can take them. You get what I'm saying? When even in there, you might feel like that, but you don't know, you don't want the charge from the guard. You get what I'm saying? There's so much restraint that you take when you going in there versus being out here.
Because I feel like some of the most humble people are deep down, like they're the ones that you really like don't really want it with. Like, and so I feel like the person that's being all rah-rah and doing all this and acting all other than themselves, it's like they may not necessarily really be like that. It's the gentle ones that's kind of like the ones that's really, really to be, you know what I mean, reckoned with.
I don't know. I might have to disagree because we got bullies, and some
Yeah,
bullies
but
are bully enough to know how to fight. Like we seen them bullies too. Like
Yo,
they shouldn't be doing that.
that's
Somebody stood
true.
up for them, and then they beat all three of them up anyway.
That's true, but now that you said that, 9 times out of 10, the bully is not really the one who is really. I don't know. I mean, we could go back and forth about
Like
it.
I
But
said,
I
it's the
feel
trauma.
like the bully, in most instances, that's from a lack of insecurity and stuff within themselves. And when you really challenge them, that bully is not really ready to kick up most times. They
So-
try to take advantage of the weak or
So
what they perceive
I was
as
bullied,
weak.
then taught how to defend myself, and became the looker for bullies.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I mean. Like I'm gonna make you think I'm scared just so you can come in and I can show you. Nah, I was on 10th Street at Shockhead Warriors. I learned some shit. You feel me? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a temperament of the person who you are on the inside. Like to other people you may be considered a bully, but you really a person who seek out bullies. I know people who don't say nothing until somebody else is getting messed with. So you get what I'm saying? Like you won't know what they capable of because they not even gonna mention or do anything until their expertise had to come to the forefront.
Something that you said that I live by is being mindful of the energy that you put into the universe.
Right.
And, being intentional, not forcing it, just naturally taking the high road as much as possible with putting positive energy in the universe. We got enough negativity in this society to last us a lifetime.
Yes, sir.
Or 1 or 2 lifetimes. So we come into a space and, you could read the room and you could read people's body language and all of that. But you only could be in control of what you put in the universe. Absolutely. And it ain't about being a kiss up or none of that. It got more to do with karma. Right. And me learning the lessons of when I put out a certain type of energy, it's sure enough come back and bite me in the ass without question.
Right.
And it might be years later. It may be this, that, and the third. And the other thing that I definitely learned was discipline growing up and had to learn I can't react off my emotions. Almost died more than once being emotional.
Right.
No, I got to get them right now.
Right.
Like right there's no.
No plan
No
and no
plan.
thing.
It's like go.
Yeah.
And almost losing your life in those instances is a lesson that's taught that also allows you to know you still here for a reason.
Yeah, it was
you
definitely by grace of God.
Yeah.
Because in your emotional state, you ain't do what you supposed to do. Somebody
Right.
saved you up out of that.
Yeah. So, those are the type of lessons, man, that I've been fortunate enough to learn and always keep at my chest as those are things that they don't teach in the book.
Right.
I love education. I'm a lifelong learner, all of that. But some of the lessons I learned wasn't in the classroom.
And so how do you balance that and keep that toughness and thoroughness from Brick City that we all came up in with kind of like having more foresight and just kind of like, teaching how to navigate in like some of the programs that you're dealing with the youth? Like, how do you find that balance to give to the kids?
One of the things that I learned, even from hustling, and people that might have been customers or whatever, never count none of them out. Never disrespected them. Listen to them. You could learn from them. I learned so much from so many people that they might have been going through what they was going through when the chapter I met them at, but they might have was a doctor.
Right.
Or they was this or that. And they was sharp in all of these things.
Right.
So I always listened and paid attention. But the balance becomes, if I could do the things that I did illegally on this planet to make money or whatever, once I learned that if I reverse that energy and use it in a whole different light, man, I'm in rooms with PhDs, people with more degrees than a thermometer. None of that phases me.
Right.
Yeah.
None of that, because they don't have the
Your
skill
spot.
set that I got of being an entrepreneur, understanding people.
The experience of people.
Yeah,
Right.
and knowing how to humble yourself and not. I don't want to be in a room. I'm the smartest person
And
in
not
the room.
boast about my degree. Just
None of
learn about
that.
the degree.
I respect,
Right.
like I said, I respect education and all of that, but common sense ain't common all the time.
Right. And
I
educational
witnessed
is
that.
selective.
Yeah, I witnessed that. You know, I work for higher education. I work for a university and all of that. So it's some real sharp people that I interact, and it's some people that don't have common sense that I work with. I don't allow any of that to distract me or to make me feel that
Right.
I'm better than somebody or whatever. No, if we was able, the most powerful thing that I got from being able to turn my life around was the fact that I did it. Not that I live in that, but I was able to put that energy into
Right.
something legal, and the risk changed. The level of the risk changed, and the profit margins changed.
Right.
And all of this stuff changed. And, you know, I have my moments when I remember having a bunch of money and, you know, not really knowing what to really do with it.
Right.
But I ain't have to really want for nothing at that point of time.
But you standing still as well because, like you
You
said,
stuck.
you got the money, but you don't got the intellect to know what to do with it.
Or you may not have been exposed to things
Right,
at that
to the
time, like
opportunities.
real
That's
it
estate
right there.
and the business and then this and then that. And I came up at the beginning of hip hop. I was fortunate enough to be in Sensations, and I saw Eric Sermon at NJ Pack a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I was there the night when you discovered Red, and he was DJing for Do It All. I was there, and I told him exactly what happened. He was like, "Yo, you were." I was like, "Yeah, that was big. That was
big for
big.
the
It was
city,
big because." You know, Sensations was the hip hop mecca of
Mecca.
Newark.
Yeah.
You had to, if you, I don't care who you was
you was
from New
somebody-
York, you
yeah.
had to come through Sensations.
Exactly.
So we witnessed that. We witnessed from club music to hip hop being the dominating music genre of our era. And seeing those things and being around all of that helped prepare you for things later in life. You don't even, you know, have a clue that these are the things that help you be able to navigate at conferences and all of these types of meetings you may be in, and be a contributor to conversations based on being a, nobody could take what you got up here.
Exactly.
Nobody could take that from you. You got to do the work on yourself, man. It's one thing to have the book smarts. It's one other thing to have both.
Right.
It makes you an asset in most cases. Just look at a lot of the folks that have had that experience. And you know, you have Master P, just was on Versus, and you look at them and look at the things they accomplished, man. It lets you know you could attain all of that.
Right. Yeah. So with some of these things that you attain, like how, so coming up in the music, what was some of the things that you had to overcome that you still can use to this day?
You have to, one, like I said, a lot of what you are able to contribute to the world is an inside job. You got to do the work on yourself, meaning that you got to be a sponge. You around old heads and OGs and all that, you got to be a sponge. I was fortunate enough to be able to be around people at a very young age that was doing what they numbers in the streets, but they never encouraged me not one time to take that route, ever.
Right.
Come on, get in the car. We going here. We going to get some food. We going to do this and drop us back off. Give us some money. Never once said, come on, here go this pack. Come on, let's go. Never.
Those are official OGs.
Right. So, you know, things that I was forced to learn is that's relevant today. I was in a space where I used to go after the biggest opportunity in front of me as the end all and be all. I gotta go get this bigger grant or this bigger thing to, you know, make it real or
To
make
validate
it
yourself.
right. And I'm like, nah. And somebody that I used to work for was an economist, and he said, nah, you need to get little pieces. Get a smaller grant here, get a smaller piece there. That creates diversification. You diversify your revenue streams. That allows you to sustain longer. Because if you got to answer to one big boss with one big funding source, if they shut you down, you done.
Yeah.
So I learned that and applied that to everything that I do, and I still apply that because you can't get caught up in counting other people's money or thinking that you deserve something. It's an opportunity out here. You got to figure out your lane and figure out how to do the things you need to do to take care of yourself first. I told my kids when I said I used to talk to them when they was younger, you gotta be able to take care of you first. Forget y'all. If daddy ain't all right, daddy can't help y'all. Daddy gotta be good within himself first. I want y'all to know that y'all gotta be good within yourselves to be able to extend any type of help to anybody else. And as a parent, you want to be able to shelter your kids and give them all these things, but you got to teach them that they got to be independent at some point one day. And collaboration and all that's important, but it ain't going to work if you ain't right within. If you're not good internally, you look in the mirror and you count yourself out and all. Nah, I love being an underdog.
Yeah.
I still love that. People see my statue and they think one thing.
Yeah.
He either an athlete, police, this, that, or the third, depending on how I'm dressed, whatever.
Yeah.
They make a preconceived notion of judgment without even having a conversation with me. They don't even know me. Yeah. But I love being an underdog. It's people today that, they say if people don't hate on you, you must be doing something wrong. Because people watch you, and what they hate is the way other people love you.
Right.
People, it's crazy how that's a real thing. Like, I want us to win. We see what it is to lose.
Right.
We know what that look like.
Know what it feel like.
Yeah, man.
Like, I know, the trials and tribulations that I've been through, and so I don't want my brother to be going through some of them same things. So if I'm doing something, yo, bro, come with me. Like, let's do this, and you know what I mean? Let's try to elevate together instead of like, oh, nah, I'm gonna just leave my folks. And I know you can't bring everybody with you, but I don't even have to be a part of what you're doing. But I'm just sitting from the side, like, man, that's Jet, man. He doing his thing.
Hey, yo,
like,
let me tell you something, man.
I salute that, like,
and
it makes me happy.
Yo, I appreciate that, and I receive that. And like I talk about being mentored. Just imagine this. I got somebody that I watched do 36 years, 3 months in federal prison. That was so sharp intellectually before he left. He left at 40. I spent 20 years of that time working and going to see him and all this about what's going to happen when he show up. Life sentence, no parole, none of that.
Yeah, we was leading to that. I see you doing the work. If I may say, you're talking about Akbar.
Right. So, but what people don't realize is that he invested in himself while he was inside those buildings to say, every chance I get, I'm going to fight. Right. How is somebody inside doing life with no parole, supposed to die in prison, inspiring me?
Right.
Giving me insight. This same person ain't been outside since the 80s, is telling me early about ChatGPT. I'm the tech person at Cobblestone. I'm the person who could fix this. He put me on game because he got access to books and reading and all of these things. But I say that to say those are the type of people that allow you to know you have no excuses about, persevering and all of these things. I've been blessed to be around individuals like that from a very young age to now that have been examples of what you could do. So he out here running around more than people that's been out here their whole life.
Right. And
to witness the fact that he made it out, we didn't want him to die in prison. Shout out to Akbar Pray.
Yeah.
And my whole family, man, people don't understand. They think it's about
they still
photo ops.
And
all, no, we in a youth house and mean that.
Doing the real work.
He was doing the work and started the foundation inside the building years ago.
Yeah.
We was going to do workshops in the youth house, and he would get people together. I'm at Central High School, and shout out to Millie, who was running the program that got the curriculum in there. And I had a crash course in understanding the federal system and all of the appeals and every process you could go through to try to gain your freedom. I witnessed and learned all of that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like me and Black laugh, but we don't, because we have become lawyers to the degree of knowing the system so much. federal system at this
Where
point.
you could go be a paralegal for sure. For somebody.
Bro, it's crazy. It wasn't like it was designed for us to learn these things in our minds, but it's
self-taught
God's
stuff too.
Yeah,
though.
it's God's plan that you put in positions and you don't know why. Why that happened. It was a lesson. It was a teachable moment.
So being running around with Akbar Pray to speaking with the reform is that something part of a cobblestone narrative to push forward together, or that's just you supporting him?
Bro.
But that's been your mission kind of
Yeah,
already since
right. I've been on
94.
that. I've been on that time since '94. The reality though is, I know the information that I have could help the Akbar Pray Foundation for Change and could help us be stronger together.
Right.
So first thing he did, listen, you need a production company. But he already had the foundation. You need a production company. Establish a production company because you got stories to tell that you want to own the content.
Right.
We start a podcast. We do that together.
Yeah.
But you got to have a company in Australia. He know this already.
Yeah.
So, for us, it's seamless. It's not even, we spent 20 years talking about this.
Right.
Yeah.
In Otisville, and we talked about all of this.
So executing.
And you want, and God bless everybody, man, and God bless the brothers that's still there. A lot of them home. We be in the visit, and it's certain people in the visit that's notable people.
Right.
And you want the best for everybody, but to see them show up in their home now, like it's like they counted all of them out.
Right,
feeling,
right.
man.
They
'Cause
counted
like you
them out.
said, having hope with the lack of hope, that is, you sentenced to forever. You never supposed to come home, and it's like what you say. I supposed to just sit here and just die here, but to have that mental fortitude and that toughness to say, nah, I'm going to fight this.
Every day.
Still get this information out here.
I'm going
anyway.
to exactly, and that's a good point too. I'm going to get this information out, provided that I don't even make it back, because there's still work that needs to be done. Although deep down, I know I'm going to make it back, so I'm still fighting two fights, and it's just amazing to see, man.
Yeah, the more you know, the more you're accountable for. And I could speak to this. When I say, certain people and being around certain people, you got to be around a circle of people that mean what they say and what they do. They actions speak volumes. And, honestly, it's not too many people that mean certain things. People see youth development as a new hustle.
Right.
Some people see that the grant world and all of this as
the new hustle.
Yeah,
that,
but
like
for
you
me,
said,
That's crazy.
but
it's
real.
It's real.
I know it's real.
Yo, when we met, we was doing education and teaching. We had this ceasefire all stars and all of this stuff that we started about anti-gun violence and all of that through music and all of these things and programs to teach you how to produce and engineer.
Yes, sir.
It was for a reason, because I could honestly pay you to engineer. While you coming in the studio every day trying to be the hottest rapper, if you learn how to engineer yourself,
right,
I could pay you to do a session.
Right. For
And
yourself.
you could record yourself. Like, these are things that, we should be mindful of when we dealing with young people. I'm not going to do something with anybody's child that I wouldn't do for my own, meaning that I don't want my kids around nothing that's crazy. Why would I have my other people's kids around something that's a warehouse or a pass-through? No, I mean that. Like, I play a lot of games. What I learned is that, and I just was having this conversation with somebody that worked in youth development, principals. And I told them, and we was talking, and I was like, the young people, the kids, not the problem. You put the right structure and the right adults and leadership around, but keeping the adults in line and on point is the challenge.
Say that again.
That's
Say
the
that again.
challenge.
Yeah.
Having consistent, thorough, good people that mean well.
That won't abuse their power.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the trauma adults go through.
Yo, it's the craziest dynamic I've witnessed working in youth development. Everybody ain't gonna conform to the norm of whatever the structure may be. Everybody ain't ready. That's understandable. But for those that want that knowledge or want that attention or want that access, they're gonna fall in line and do what they're supposed to do. But it means that you got good people leading the charge.
Right.
Absolutely.
And keeping the good people, it's not easy. And keeping, because there's layers that get peeled off. People
Right.
show you who they are. You go through the dating and honeymoon phase of any type of relationship in
Right.
life, but you get to see the people that mean it. This guy ain't no grass growing in his feet since he touched down with going hard for youth development. And
moving.
Yeah. So even with the production of the podcast and all of that, and shout out to ABF Productions, that is a podcast company we partner with on that. But it wasn't about just doing a podcast because everybody doing it and having enough subscribers and monetizing your page. Of course, the business, you want the business to do but no, I want to have a perspective that's
The message.
right. I want to be able, I got all this information in me, and, the people that get it. And you got people that don't even understand that power that a person may possess just based on their lived experience, and they want to share and help
Right.
another generation not make those same mistakes. So for me, like you said, I've been doing that work. So for me, that's like a part of
Right.
my DNA.
It's a
It's a
no-brainer at
no-brainer
this
for
point.
me.
Yeah.
But the reality of seeing in real time these things happening, we just came from Georgia, and he did upcoming. Shout out to Killer Mike and Bear and Free and DJ Cutmaster Swift and Ash, the whole team down there in Georgia's in Atlanta. Real energy and real positive people have a natural, organic way of connecting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it's unspoken. And just how we sitting here, we allowed this conversation to happen.
Right.
Versus
Correct.
these are questions, and
Exactly.
but it's natural. We
Right.
can all relate to certain things in a certain way that we know is good information to be sharing and building upon.
that's the
And
point.
when that happens, man, that is powerful. You are part of a network. I'm a part of a network. You're a part of a network that we sometimes don't even realize is a resource. And sometimes all it takes is let me DM him and see, yo,
It's the network.
that's your net worth. It's real.
It's
called
real,
human
yeah.
capital.
Right.
Like how
it's
much?
the cultural currency that we talking
How
about.
about that?
You get what I'm saying?
How
So
about that?
I would definitely dialed in with networking because
Yeah.
this is a part of what we doing this for.
Yo, I call it human capital. If you haven't poured into people in regards to instead of burning bridges, you help people out, or you've been open to your help may come in the form of picking up the phone and calling somebody, see how they doing.
Seeing
Yeah.
how they doing.
This
Checking
is-
on
nothing
your
else.
brother.
Yeah.
Checking on
This
your
is
sister.
this. So I try to let my brother know right here, he a few years older than me. So it's like watching him through the transitions that we went through. I watched him be in a transition and then stay there to where, I ain't going back. He ain't been back since we was in there together. I've been back again. And I'm at the change where I feel like now, I ain't going back. But to a mentor, like he don't even know I'm watching him because it's like, man, I'm gonna call him, man, because I was about to go do some bullshit. But today, like he said, man, I'm chilling with the guy. All right, we gonna do something positive there, because that's how this conversation we're going about it. Because you can see some of the people that's next to you, and they can transform your mindset because you get tired of being the only one not doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that
Your
shout out to
circle-
you, bro.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yo, your circle of people in the company you keep is very important to, you get to a certain point in life where you want to iron do sharpen iron. That's a very real statement. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room, but you want to be around people that you could evolve with, that you could build with, that you could have real conversation, because that's a scarcity. How many times we've all been locked up? How many people playing in the day room, goofing off,
Right.
and you looking at them like, bruh, what is you doing?
Just
Like,
Right.
on TV.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, come on, man. This is you. At some point, we supposed to wake up and understand we in a trap. Not the trap where we getting money. We fell into the trap for real of thinking that we was going to prosper doing illegal things. And until you begin to, you want what you got knowledge of to be passed on to everybody around. You want them to know, yo, don't become a part.
The trap of not working together, like you said, like staying to yourself and closing off the information. Like you fall into the trap of that.
I
Like
think that's a very good point, and it kind of piggybacks off of what you said. just about those networking capabilities and relationships. And for a long time, I was a prideful person, and I tried to be, a good person out here when I move, even when I was in the street. Like, bro, if you need something, holla at me. If I got it, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm trying not to be beating no old ladies in the head and taking nothing from them. And so for a while, I was so prideful that I wasn't even leaning into certain relationships because you kind of want to do it on your own. But to get ahead, I feel like we influence each other and we uplift each other up. But it's nothing to ask your brother. Either he can say yes or he can say no. And I think that's a very good point that you kind of made about leaning into people and being able to use that network of friends that you may have come across throughout this lifetime of travels.
Yeah, a closed mouth don't get fed, man. And yo, you got a podcast, he got a podcast. We could do each other podcasts. It don't matter. Long as we on the same, it's an alignment.
Building bridges.
Yeah, man. You like I said, people that know what it is to win. You're not afraid or threatened by people or intimidated by people because they may be strong-willed or got a strong personality, whatever it may be. Again, it's an inside job, man. People have men and women, but a lot of men got a lot of insecurities.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of different things as crutches to posture themselves up or whatever.
The arrogance and the ego.
Yo, I don't knock nobody for how they get it. Get it how you get it.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the game, but in most cases, man, you gotta again be good within yourself.
Got to.
You gotta spend the time to learn yourself well enough to know this is what I'm about, and this is what I'm gonna put in the universe, and this is everything I'm doing. None of this ain't for me at this point.
Right.
It's about legacy and generational wealth. None of what I'm doing is about me in the whip, linked over. I did that as a teenager, bro. Like I did all of that. Like that don't move me.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
None of that moves me. None of it. It's like I'm like,
even though I'm still doing it.
yo,
Like I'm on the way to the meeting, but I'm linked in the whip. Not linked in the whip fried, but I'm chilling on my way to do what I need to do. Like, so that's what I mean by changing the mindset. Sometimes it could be, all right, you assume that I'm just leaning the whip and I'm, like you said, I could be whatever, depending on what I'm wearing. But I'm chilling, actually enjoying what I'm doing. So I'm just chilling in the whip, going to the next execution point.
But I think that's a part of it too. And so as men, as people out here, I think that we all kind of got to have our outlets. And so your outlet may be, having a nice car or doing this. My outlet may be technology. I may want to get a gimbal.
Yeah.
I may want to, have a new camera and test that out. Your outlet, is giving back and being with the kids and seeing how, you pouring into them can make them grow and, become responsible young adults and shape the narrative and control your own narrative with your media company, which is an important thing to do. So I think growth happens for people at different stages, and you can be inspired by your brother, but it's not necessarily, okay, his path may be his path. You got to kind of find what's good and what works for you, and that goes back to what you're saying about knowing yourself.
Yo, bro, you know me for some time. I can't even explain how I got involved with comedy. And we talking about outlets.
Right.
And laughter is definitely good for the soul.
It's great for the soul.
Shout out to my partner, Bob Sumner, who is
Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
triple OG in that world to today. And we started a company together. Him, myself, and Bobby Duckett started a company called Legacy Entertainment Group. And it's a management company for the comedy talent that we see has the character, needs to be able to create content around them to help push them to the next level of being an entertainer, not just gigging and on a mic. That's important, being a stand-up comic or comedian. But, I've been fortunate enough to have people identify the need for me and him to meet.
Right.
Shout out to Deidre Tate and the Andrea Holmes Tompkins for putting me and him together. They tried for 2 years for me and him to meet.
Right.
And the way we met is the craziest story ever because we ain't stopped since then. And, he curates comedy and produces the comedy show at the Apollo.
Apollo, yeah.
The Apollo Comedy Club. Shameless plug, show coming up November 6th. Over there.
BLB Square.
Right. But comedy has, given me a whole nother understanding of an industry I was already in. But production-wise, we produce, right now we got 5 one-hour comedy specials that's been shot and being edited that's coming out in 2026. Streaming on all platforms and all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
However, the people that we interacting with, some of the comedians may have just started, some of them have been in the game a while, but bro, that's a whole nother level of people,
right.
A whole new community and family of people that I got, and that helped me have an outlet. I love being able to laugh.
Right.
Like for real. Like that's an outlet.
Yeah.
Like that's therapeutic to be around cats, and they do that for a living. They got a lot of guts. Shout out to everybody that does that, the Legacy Entertainment talent, and everybody that we have touched and been around. But I mean it in a way of the importance of who you surround yourself with, who you partner with. Me and him met at ABFF in South Beach, and the way we met, we was introduced through somebody, but he wanted to produce something, and like a film or something. And the conversation went into him explaining to me all of these stories that he had from the peppermint and all of this stuff. And I'm like, bro, what about your story? We got to tell, you alive. Yeah. We got to tell your story. So we've been working on what has been started as a documentary and is evolved into a docu-series that we working on till today right now, to do it right and to do it in a way with the right alliances with the right people. Energy.
Right.
You could get a deal and the deal don't make no sense if the energy off. If people toxic on set, if they got this whole Hollywood goofy energy, bruh, go that way.
Right.
All money ain't good money, because you want people to be a part of something that's so important and precious to tell a story where it's uplifting to everybody that's behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera. I like doing projects that's real life stories.
Yeah.
I like doing things and people
has a purpose.
Yeah, man. Like you able to tell. We able to tell our story. This is a format of telling your story.
1000%.
An expression that they not knocking on our door with deals to do this work.
Yeah.
We invested in ourselves when we do this work. And that's what's necessary to be able to have a voice, to leave a legacy. You sharing your knowledge. Your kids and your grandkids could watch this later and say, Grandpa was on his game, or Grandpa was around some dope cats, whatever the case. But them as well as the general public, you can't make excuses for having access to the world, I got people, man, that like, shout out to Samad Davis, who is one of the first filmmakers I met from Newark. And he had a film that he did called The Dirty Game.
Oh, yeah.
It's a classic,
Yeah,
right?
classic in the hood.
Samad just got honored for International Entrepreneur Awards. People think he just do production. He got a show on Netflix, The Kings of Joburg, season 3. It was the #1 show out of Africa. He from Newark.
Yeah.
He producing in other continents. He doing business in other continents. When I touched down in South Africa, I wasn't going over there unless I could tap in with him, because he know the lay of the land.
Yeah.
And, again, that part of traveling and relationships and going outside your comfort zone is important if you're trying to grow and develop as an individual, and if you're trying to grow your business. You got to step outside of what you comfortable or believing is your journey sometimes, and test the water.
Right.
And if you don't, they say if you jump out the plane and don't pull the cord, you got to pull the cord.
Yeah.
You won't know if it worked or not.
That's
That's real. Yeah.
You gotta pull the cord. You gotta be willing to, we took risks, but I used to tell kids coming to program talking about they tired. I'm like, and this is the 90s, you tired.
Oh, but
Bruh, ain't no sleeping on the block. We break day. What are you talking about? You tired or you sick? You wasn't sick outside. You was outside with the flu, with tissue in your nose. How many you want? Stop it.
Exactly.
Like, stop it, man.
That's
same
definitely the
energy
push.
you got to put into getting it right.
Doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's why oftentimes, me and bro, we may have a session and, everybody knows my day job. I'm driving in the trucks. I'm working overnights. I'm getting off. It's about 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. So sometimes that morning come and I don't want to have to get all of that equipment from the house to where we got to go shoot. Man. But then I think about those times we was in New Community.
Yeah.
We stood on the L.
Yeah.
When it was raining.
Snowing.
We didn't when it was snowing.
When
we
it
didn't
wasn't,
go to the club.
We was bringing it back. We wasn't even there. That's the part they don't know.
We was going to the club. We stood out there on that strip.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, if I could stand out there and do all of that stuff and negativity, then I could be a little bit tired to push something that I really, really believe in, and that's cultural currency. Yeah. And so, I feel like we could talk forever, bro. There's a lot of things that I really wish that we could have gotten to in our time, but maybe, we could say that for another day. Maybe I can come to your spot and talk about some of those things.
However we need to do it.
But before you get out of here, you said so many dope things and dropped so many gems. Relationships is a big part of what you were saying. Getting out here, doing what you need to do. I got 2 questions for you, and then I know Swiss may have something on the way out too. My first question is, what does cultural currency mean to you?
Cultural currency is being able to navigate the universe, not just your community and neighborhood, the universe in a way where you recognize the people that's really doing stuff versus the people that say they doing stuff. Cultural currency is collaboration. We can't get there alone. It's not going to happen. None of these Fortune 500 companies get there alone. They merge, they buy out, they do whatever, but they collaborate. It's different models that we have to adapt to understand that we stronger together in most cases. Now, you go through the filtering out of people where you might try to rock with somebody and they may show you that, you know what, we don't have the same values, we don't have the same morals. And I respect you and I keep it pushing, but the good people that you meet, like the connection that we organically had, like I said, supporting the supporters, that's cultural currency. You poured something into Cobblestone by coming and booking time at our studio. You could have went to any other studio, but you felt comfortable there. You knew you was good there, no goofiness going on, but you believed in that, you trusted us. It was more than an exchange of money, but now that relationship still exists. Years later, we could still holler at each other and have an exchange. That's cultural currency. How many people you could call and people hire me because I may be a resource. And I say this in regards to film and production. People may call or people may hire somebody outside of Newark to do a project, and that's a Newark project.
Right.
I don't get caught up in that. I don't have an expectation or whatever. You know why? Because the cultural currency that I've built, that company that you might hire out of New York, they calling me.
Right.
Because they coming to Newark.
Right.
They calling me to say, bro, what's up with such and such? They good? I'm like, yeah. We want you to come to this meeting. Or we want you to help out with da-da-da-da-da. So I don't get caught up into who do what. I don't get caught. It's for you. But it's all an investment that you've already put out there, that your name is solid. And I mean, you had the ability to execute. Your body of work should speak for itself. It's not about, material things or being a people pleaser as much as your work ethic and can you get stuff done? Do people trust you? Is this a brand we could trust? You are a brand. You a brand. I'm a brand. We are companies walking around. Yeah. And people buy into that or they don't. And the reality of the fact that y'all named the show what y'all named it. We named Cobblestone. Me and Black sat around and threw a bunch of things out, but we knew what we didn't want to say because we didn't want to be generic. Right. We didn't want to be Brick City Records. We wanted people to know that we come from a certain place where we understand the other side of life, the streets. Right. We come from that, but we also know that could be perceived as generic. People don't know. If you do your research and you look at the history of Newark, New Jersey, all the streets was
It was
cobblestone.
laid with
Underneath
cobblestone.
all of
Yeah.
these streets,
It's still there.
still there.
It's still there.
Like
that was-
Magnolia, rest in
yeah.
peace, all that, like
You
cobblestone.
get to these couple places in the streets messed
Right,
up.
so
You see the bricks.
that was our spin on being able to say that without sounding like that's what we intentionally
Everybody
saying.
else, yeah.
And you know, it's just things like that, man, that you know allows you to be uniquely yourself, but in the same breath, be a part or attached to something that you don't ever forget where you come from. You don't ever forget, like people that I've seen that might have gone through some things that caused them to like slip in life. And I'm the same person that I was on Chadwick Clinton. I'm the same person as far as my character,
Right.
as far as how I carry myself. And
The
it feels
integrity and
good.
morals
It
is
feels
still
good to
intact.
see the senior citizens that's still alive, that's my mother age, that knew me from back then. And when they saw me in a suit or doing something right,
Right.
felt much better than any day I had dripped out with diamonds, and it felt better than any of that
Yeah,
could ever feel.
Exactly.
And you know,
Having the respect of the people you respected.
right.
That's a
Facts.
good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, the name of the show is Cultural Currency, and it's that for a reason because you put the thought into what you want to put out there in the universe.
Yeah.
And you know, relationships is power. Is power more powerful than money.
It is.
We got record deals. We got distribution deals from a relationship. Watching our lawyer, God rest him, Paul Marshall, sent a 2 sentence letter to a a friend of his, and said, "These two guys named our name. These my guys. They ain't listened to one song Cobblestone had. None of that.
Yeah.
And we had a distribution deal in the blink of that two sentence
relationship.
paragraph
Right.
off a
Off a
relationship.
relationship,
And you know the reality of those things, you witness this and you see, like, damn, it's like that. It's really like that. Like you think you're gonna get there one way and you gotta get the hit record and all this. You know, like shout out to Rock and Bones for being consistent in their artistry and their commitment to being true to themselves, where, you know, we gave them opportunities, but they went and figured it out on their own too. They went out, touched the water, and did this and did that. But we still today rock together.
Still in that network.
Still rock together. They teachers
the
and all
narrative
of that. They
forward.
teaching.
And Rock, for those that don't know, when I came home, he was the young man that was in the studio behind the boards that was making the beats. You know what I mean? I purchased a couple beats from him. You know, I had a couple of, you know, regular mixtape beats as well, but he did all the production on that first project when I came home. So shout out to Rock and Bones, definitely. Some guys that came through with your mentoring program as well.
Man, they showed up at Cobblestone on Bergen and Renner, 16 years old. Both of them was 16, different points.
Yeah.
Rock lived around the corner on Shepherd. He came in the studio, said, and I ain't trying to be long-winded, he came in the studio and said, I produce, I make beats. All right, we like, all right. This is when we in Universal getting beats and all of this from some everybody. All right, let's hear what you got. So he played the joint, he played about 4 or 5 joints. He was like, all right, you got some more? He's like, nah, I'll be back. He's like, all right, bruh, no lie. About 4 to 5 months later, he came back. He had just finished IAR.
Okay.
Bruh, he ain't leave since after he played the beats that he had when he came back.
Yeah.
Go,
You
yeah,
with.
yo,
You staying.
Yeah.
That's
And you know, Bones lived downstairs in the building that we was in with the storefront with the
Okay.
Bones walked by the window. Me and Black sitting in the reception in the front. He's like, yo, what's wrong with this little? What's wrong
Oh, he
with
just
this
was
thing?
walking by?
Yeah, I'm like, he come in, right? He like, yo, my name Bones. I rap. I want y'all to hear what I got. Bro, he pulled out one of them old,
Oh, the
cassette tapes.
joints.
bruh, mini cassette
With the
recorder.
tissue
Hey,
in.
yo, with the karaoke, you done taped
Yo.
over
Yo,
joint about to pop any minute
he
now.
played the joint he self-recorded himself. Bruh, it's the closest thing I heard to Ice Cube, It Was a Good Day, that anybody had ever.
Yeah.
And from that point, he was in it was like you
You
good.
earned your spot.
Yeah, from that and having the heart, He had to work up the heart to come through the door, and he came through the door, and you know, but to still be working with them today, he do visual arts, painting murals, drive trucks. Bruh, I don't know nobody in New Jersey that got more music placements in film and TV than Rock and Bones. And Rock has done a lot of different things in a lot of different ways that's all historical. I don't know if y'all seen the Harriet Tubman statue that's downtown at Harriet Tubman Park.
Yeah, I seen it.
You heard it? Latifah's talking.
Oh, no, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, you go inside there, Latifah's talking through the speakers.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
The music underneath that, who produced that? Rock.
Yeah.
Like
stuff
like that people don't even understand. There's so many ways to eat. Publishing and having music, sync licensing and all of that. You know, all of those things important, man.
But that's history right there.
Yeah, so many people poured into us. You know, my man Sam Jean and Black 45, they saw what we was doing. And people that was there, we splitting sandwiches.
Black 45, that's Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout
Early
out to my
hip
bro.
hop.
Yeah,
Early hip hop.
Man, I got you up here.
Yeah.
I told you about that too.
Yo,
man.
he got a lot of information in regards to what he was doing with hip hop in Newark.
Yeah.
And giving people exposure and outlets to perform and spaces around the city, man. But
I was in his movie when he did his first movie and everything like that. So we used to work together back in the day. So me and Ken, we always gonna definitely have that relationship.
Okay.
But yeah. That's dope.
yeah, man. But like I said, man, I appreciate y'all having me.
And we
I appreciate the
definitely appreciate you
opportunity.
coming through.
You know, let's
Lend your credibility to this platform because the conversation that we had, I know it can help someone out there. I mean, it definitely helped me. I know it, you know what I mean, help Swiss.
Yeah,
And,
with this being my first, you know what I mean, time meeting you, like you said, we can go on a whole lot more because I can see it's a whole lot of information.
Yeah, because there's so much that I didn't get to
that we didn't get to. Like you said, this is the conversation was organic. I want the information to help the youth or the other people who watching, and I feel like it's more information he got from that. They could get to that.
No doubt.
So we might need to reschedule, come back and do a part 2, something like that, or like you said, come down and see something hands on of what's going on, so we can help get the resources out to when we not around. Somebody else might see you. Like I said, my son might see you from here. Once you run down, hear some songs, you feel me? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. You know, the blessing that, you know, social media is a blessing and a curse, but if people follow us on social media, you know, we got Cobblestone Multimedia is the Instagram, or follow Jeff Billingsley, whatever, Cobblestone Multimedia on Facebook, IG, all of that. But even with the foundation, the apffc.org, around the programs that is doing and what that movement is about. It's not just a money grab or no, it's about penance. It's about
actionable
paying
items.
Yeah, it's about how
in
do
the
I make a
community.
difference now? I did it before. I had the other type of power before. How do I use that now to impact young people to not wind up like I was in prison for the rest of their life?
So real quick, you said APF?
APFFC.
APFFC.org.
Yeah.
Can they go? All right, because you know, I like to speak for my never ratted brothers and stuff like that. So can they go to there and get the information on how to clear the record, the expungement records? I just heard about that.
Yeah.
Do they do one? Do they do the whole record? Or
again, human capital. It's a bunch of people that we even interact with that do the expungement clinics. It's one coming up Friday.
yeah, because I'm trying to be in that joint.
Oh, I'm gonna give you the information.
yeah.
You can share it. But I'm gonna
That's what I said. I'm gonna personally need to go through it, then I'm gonna share it and
Yeah.
keep
So
going.
what I'll do is I'll have that in the lower thirds. We'll have that information on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
somewhere
it's
here,
two
or
coming
here.
up. One in Newark. No. Is it? I'm gonna send you the info. I got the information. I just shared it with some people yesterday.
Right.
It's two coming up. And these are people that we have affiliation with, and they mean it and they do it. To be perfectly transparent, I just got a pardon from my drug charge from the 80s,
Right.
30-something years later.
Yeah.
I got a pardon April the 8th from the governor. But that ain't it.
Congratulations to that.
Thank
too.
you. That ain't it. I got to do that because of the certain first-degree drug charge in New Jersey is not expungible.
Right.
It's by design. You wonder why you get a gun charge, you got drugs. You could cop there, we get rid of the gun, but you're gonna cop to a first or second degree drug charge. You know why? Because you trapped.
Right.
Or the
They use
perception
that to keep you out of certain things.
yeah, your Second Amendment rights and your civil rights is not eligible any longer if you plead to that. But if you know and you talk to people and, you know, the reality of what you think is not doable it's always a way. So you get a pardon.
Yeah.
Now
so
you
it's an
eligible to
executive
submit.
order.
You eligible to submit for expungement.
Okay.
I have my application is right now in the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. I'm waiting for the outcome of that because it's not enough to just be forgiven for something that I did when I was a teenager. It's about how do my record get sealed. That's the forgiveness for me.
Right.
That
So where I
I've done
can
the
move
work.
on and be productive now.
Yeah, I've been
without
doing
being
the work.
judged about the
Yeah,
past.
bro.
30
Could you
years,
imagine?
no charges since.
Could
It's
you
like,
imagine every time you apply to go after a grant, you got to write a justification letter from that charge from 30 years ago?
Right.
So the state and federal government still holding me accountable. It's like I'm still doing time for
It's
something
double
I
jeopardy
completed.
all over again.
Yeah,
Like you
so-
said, it's designed. for
Yeah,
that.
so, you know, I say that not to brag about it. I'm still evolving and going through whatever and still addressing the system from things that, choices I made early on in life. But it ain't never too late.
and that's the cultural currency. You learn, you get information, you push it out there. We can't make the people drink, but you give it to them and you hope that they will. You show them the way, you show them the path. And that's how we try to lead this place a little bit better than it was before we got here. Everybody play their part.
No doubt, man. I just want to say one closing thing, man. Shout out to my wife, my family, my kids, my grandkids. That's my whole everything is,
The reason.
yeah, that's my everything in regards to my support system, my mother. I'm fortunate to have my mother. My Black is my brother. Like, people don't even understand the level of brotherhood and partnership and everything that we have. That's priceless. You can't pay for that.
Can't pay
Right.
for that.
So, you know, just shout don't charge it to me as far as I can't shout everybody out, but shout out to everybody that support and everybody that care about seeing us move forward and the people that really serious about what they do.
The real ones know who they are.
Yeah, man. I'ma steal his line, man. Support the supporters, man. That's your cultural currency.
And with
Facts.
that being said, we know that time is money, so thanks for investing with us. Cultural currency. To the next time. Jeff Billingsley, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you both. Peace.